If your inner world is not aligned, your mindset, your energy, your values, your outer world is not going to be aligned. But when you are aligned, when your mindset, your energy, your values, right? How many of you don't have a values and a mission and a vision statement in your business? How can you accelerate when you don't even know what your purpose in business is? It's not to sell another home. That's easy. But if you want to create long-term relationships, partnerships, alignment, raving fans, it's a spiritual law that you're missing out on because you're separating your life from your business and your business from your life. And instead, what we need to do is we need to align those together. And the way we align those is we have spirituality in our business. Imagine this. You're grinding, you're chasing, you're trying to get those sales. You're doing everything in your power. But at the end of the day, you feel empty. You've done everything right on paper, but you're still feeling off inside. And here's the truth. Business without spirituality is like a body without a heartbeat, and spirituality without business is like a dream without an action. What if I told you the key to sales, the key to business, and the key to spirituality are not separate lanes, but the same road? Spirituality is not about just burning incense and chanting Om on a mountainside. It's about the energy, the alignment, and the connection. And those are the exact same things that create business growth. Every conversation you have in business is an energy exchange, right? When we talk about frequency, we talk about tonality. And it's the same thing that connects you to the higher power. When you come from fear, scarcity, or ego, you push people away. Your frequency pushes people away. And sales is simply transferring your belief, and your highest level of belief comes from being spiritually aligned, knowing who you are, why you're here, and what you're building. Somebody asked me yesterday on our sales team, the way you sell, super different than anybody else. The calls that I've sat in on, the calls that I've heard, you open people up. And I said to her, she said, when did that start for you? I said, that's a really good question. And I said, you know what? It started when I was 17 and I sold Cutco knives. And she says, tell me more. Why? I said, because I remember seeing in the Cutco booklet, the blue booklet, the binder that we opened up that said Cutco 1949 to 1999, 50th year anniversary. And I always thought that was really cool that I got to start in the 50th year anniversary, right? Because that shows the company's got longevity. And there's a junk knives page that we talked about. And in the junk knives page, I literally said, oh my God, that's what my mom's kitchen looks like. My mom's got a pantry full of these garbage knives from Costco. And she's got a drawer full of these old knives. And as the knives get older, once a year, twice a year, she'll go buy an $80 set of knives, $100 set of knives. It's got the 4 or 6 steak knives in there, cheap block, cheap plastic handles. And she'll go buy the knife set. And she goes, so what? I said, well, when I saw the page and I saw my mom's kitchen, I said, oh, well, this is true. And then when I saw the product, because what they do is they indoctrinate you. And so when I saw the product, 1960, 1970, that still worked, I said, well, this is good stuff. And then I saw the guarantee and I said, well, this is a good company. I felt my spirit saying, you need to sell this to as many people as possible. And my body looked at myself and in the mirror and I'm like, why are you so concerned about your mom's kitchen knives? You're a 17-year-old punk ass kid. I'm like, well, because people need it. It wasn't because I wanted to go party. It wasn't because I wanted the money. Like, yes, obviously I wanted the money, but when I saw the product, I felt something inside of me align. My frequency shifted. And when I talked about the product, I really believe that everybody needs a set of Cutco in their kitchen for their daily tasks. I truly believe that. I live here in South America and I have Cutco knives here. Last time my mom came up, she's like, hey, honey, do you need anything from the house? I was like, Mom, actually, do I have Cutco there? And she's like, well, you don't, but I have some extra. And I'm like, are you using it? She's like, no. I'm like, I would love it. She's like, okay, I'll just bring it by. No problem. I'm like, oh my God, that'd be amazing. And those knives are almost 30 years old now. And my spirit, right? Because a lot of entrepreneurs chase profit, they burn out. But when your business is on purpose, the profit flows naturally. Well, because my spirit was into those knives, I knew that I had to get them into the hands of people. And when people said no to me, I pushed back, right? Because it was my purpose at that time, right? It was my purpose, and purpose is spirit coming through me. I said, no, you need these because you're going to spend more money over your lifetime on worse stuff. The profit rolled in. And when you marry the two of those, you unlock sustainable success. I sold knives for years throughout my journey in entrepreneurship. I would come back to it if I needed money because it was an easy sell for me. Why? Because I truly believe in it. And clients don't just buy your products. They buy your energy, your vision, your certainty. And sales is often seen as manipulation, but here's the shift. Sales is one of the most spiritual things you can do when you do it right and you believe in your product. And so when Lindsay asked me yesterday, Vic, your calls are so deep, right? My friend that was staying with me yesterday, she said, I listened to your call and you listen like a therapist. I said, well, because this is therapy. She goes, why? I said, because we're guiding somebody from where they are to where they want to be. You're helping them overcome their fear and step into the possibility and transform their life. And that's sacred work. And you think I just sell houses. No, it's the farthest thing from the truth. When you are selling a home, right? You think somebody needs more space. They don't need more space. My little brother just moved from Ohio to California to work with my father. And when they walked into the new house and their 2-year-old son just bolted around and his smile on his face from an apartment to son, this is your new home, lit up. And my brother and his wife and my parents said, we never felt more joy. Not because he got a great opportunity and blah. No, it's because when they stepped into the house and they saw the boy run, they said, wow, this is amazing. And they shifted and they're transforming that boy's life, which is going to transform their life. And you think you're just selling an extra bedroom and bathroom. And when you're doing prospecting calls, you're right using the old technology that worked in the past, but it doesn't work anymore because people want alignment, right? They want to be aligned with the person they're working with. If your inner world is not aligned, your mindset, your energy, your values, your outer world is not going to be aligned. But when you are aligned, when your mindset, your energy, your values, right? How many of you don't have a values and a mission and a vision statement in your business? How can you accelerate when you don't even know what your purpose in business is? It's not to sell another home. That's easy. But if you want to create long-term relationships, partnerships, alignment, raving fans, it's a spiritual law. It's a spiritual law that you're missing out on because you're separating your life from your business and your business from your life. And instead, what we need to do is we need to align those together. And the way we align those is we have spirituality in our business. Now, you might believe in God, you might believe in the universe, you might believe in source, right? But it's time to bring all that together. In our company, right? One of the things that I believe we do better than most is we share our vision of what we're trying to help our clients build. And they see me doing meditations and breath work with our clients. They see me telling our clients, put your hand on your heart when you're in the car. When you're about to walk into a new appointment, put your hand on your heart. You might not have all the skills today, but you can come with authenticity, right? It takes time to build skills. It takes 0 time to be authentic. It might take 3 months or 6 months or 12 months to build the skills set that you need to be at the top performance that you want. 24 months, right? It could take longer. It's okay, right? Most people spend their whole life struggling and they never put the time into building their skills. right? Don't be a lifelong learner, be a lifelong learner and implementer. But when you can bring your spirituality and your business together, you don't necessarily have to share it with all of your clients. They may or may not align with that, right? But when you show up with your soul, you stop chasing and you start attracting. And one of the things that we always tell our clients is put your hand on your heart, close your eyes, and just breathe into the person you're talking to, right? It's not a visualization exercise. It's like, I really am here to serve. Like, my sole purpose at this moment is to help these people buy or sell a piece of real estate. My sole purpose right now is to help these people with the transformation. My sole purpose, right? When people come and work with me one-on-one, we do a lot of transformational work. And one of my clients said, Vic, how long have you been doing this for? I said, which part? She said, transforming people, helping people. I said, well, since I was a like pizza delivery boy. She goes, what do you mean? I said, well, my parents had a pizza restaurant. She goes, okay, but how does that have anything to do with this? I said, well, when somebody was sitting at the counter, I wanted to help them transform their night from a decent night to an experience. And I'm like, okay, so here's how we got to do this. We got to have the chicken wings, right, come out with the potato poppers, right? Because the way the cheese melts in your mouth, because it's going to come right out of the fryer. Now, this was before I knew anything about fried foods, right? And then you get the potato wedges, and our potato wedges aren't just like the ones from Rusty's, all right? Like, our potato wedges are made in-house, they're cut, the blah, 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 blah. And these people are looking at me and they're like, okay, we want it all. Yes. I'm like, and then you got to get our ranch. I was like, because my mom hired Ed Ledoux, this crazy dude, paid like $40,000 for these recipes. And don't get me wrong, the pizza's insane, but the ranch is what kicks it over the top. They're like, okay, we want a bucket of ranch. I mean, we sold ranch and I'm like, and then we got to get the beer. Now I'm like 14 years old selling beer. I'm like, okay, tell me what kind of beer you like. I had no idea about beer. I just do like dark beer or light beer. They're like, we like, okay, well, you got to try this beer. It's from here and here. And what we're going to do, we're going to bring it in an ice cold pitcher right out of the freezer. And then we're going to bring you 3 mugs, 2 mugs, 3 mugs, 4 mugs, 2 mugs. How old are you kids? You guys, I'm not old enough to sell it. You're not old enough to drink it. So 2 mugs. And they would laugh and they would smile and they'd go, if the food's halfway as good as like your ability to sell us $200 worth of pizza, like, we are coming back for life. And the food was. And because I knew how much love and energy my mom and her business partner put into that business, and I knew how much they cared about the food that came out, because my mom loves cooking and feeding people, and so did her business partner. I mean, these 2 women fed armies of people at parties, at the restaurant, because they felt the frequency of God coming through them. In our religion, we have a thing called seva, right? I'm a Sikh. And in our religion, we have this thing called seva. And seva means you do for others, right? Now, most people do seva at the temple, but you could do seva anywhere in the world. And my mom and her business partner were the most spiritually aligned women ever, because they took care of everything, everyone, everywhere. And that's because their souls were so aligned. They were spiritually aligned with the work they were doing. They weren't creating food. They were nourishing bodies. And they truly believed in it. And so I ask you, when you think of the work you do you think that you're transforming a life and that you're spiritually aligned and these people were meant to come to you? And because they were meant to come to you, you did all the preparation. You did all of the work. You made sure you had the best recipe. My mom said $280,000, $300,000 for recipes for a restaurant. And these things were amazing pizzas, right? When I sold Cutco knives, I locked myself in a bathroom for 3 days to memorize every line of that presentation. It was this 80-page presentation. I knew the whole thing front to back. I felt it was my duty to show up prepared. Are you doing the same thing? Because if you're not, are you truly spiritually aligned? Because when you're spiritually aligned and you know you're doing the work of above, you're not in sales. And so I'd ask you again, if you're not driving, put your hand on your heart, close your eyes, and just ask, by you not being prepared, who am I not serving? By me not showing up in the best capacity possible, who am I not serving? By me not hiring the mentors and getting the right talk tracks and the formulas, who am I not serving? By me pretending like I'm so good when I know I'm not, who am I not serving? What frequency from above are you calling in? Are you calling in abundance? Are you calling in scarcity? Are you telling the world to take care of you? Are you telling the world that you're not prepared and you don't deserve it? Because look, we all run on energy and frequencies. And if your energy is low because you're not prepared, you're not going to show up and do the work you need to do. It's very simple. And you're spiritually going to be disconnected from the world. And when you're disconnected and you're separated from pure love and consciousness, as Joe Dispenza says, you're on your own. But we're always connected, right? But it does take some effort on your part. And those businesses that bring in their spirituality, those businesses that bring in the higher power, whatever you believe in, it's all the same to me. Whatever you call it, it's the same. Those businesses tend to have a little bit more of an easy time. It's not that their times don't get tough. They just find ways through it because they know that they're doing something greater than them. Would love to see you on the other side.